What about making yours sound better?
Boom, Benny, everybody. I am Diego for WA Production, and today we're going to start off with a future style break inspired by Don Diablo cutting shapes. So yeah, it sounds really awesome. First, we're going to start off with the main part of the break is the pianos. They sound like this. So they sound really awesome. They sound really bright. They sound really present. So how I achieved the sound was really simple. I just used the M1 piano, a bit of saturation from the Camel Crusher. And then I used an EQ just to carve out the annoying frequencies. Then I used a low pass and a high pass. Then I used the OTT just to give it that overtop compression. I really encourage you guys when you're making these style of drops, especially with this style of piano, use the OTT because it really brings out those overtones that really sound really awesome and sound really professional in those type of tracks. And it sounds like this. You know, it sounds bright, it's not present, but it doesn't overstay its welcome with its brightness. And then we have the grand piano. You know, the bright piano sounds good, it sounds awesome. It's just the Contact Alicia keys, a bit of Camel Crusher, and then the Fab Filter Pro Q3, just carving out again a little of annoying frequencies and just using a low pass and a high pass. And if you hear really well, they complement each other really well. So that's good. Then we have a pull tech on the bus. There's a pull tech just boosting the high frequencies. And then we have the King from WA Production just doing some overall compression. Then we have a vocal chop. You know, if this vocal chop, I think I found it in a WA Production future house pack, or was it a hexagon pack, I think. And I just put it into the project and it fit perfectly. You know, I really encourage you guys to check out WA Production to get their packs or just do the subscription. You guys can get like 3 packs, I think, in a month. So that's really awesome. You can just check out your favorite pack and just download it with your monthly subscription. So after that, I have the bass. What I did with the bass is it's a Serum preset. It's from WA Production as well, and it sounds like this. Just remember to put on your headphones or your studio monitors because otherwise you won't hear that bass. It's a pretty simple bass, you know, just out of the box Serum. Just put a utility on there and just done. Then I have some drums. You know, it's pretty simple. It's just, you know, high quality drums. Just a clap, a drum fill, and a build up snare. You know, it's just they're already processed. What I can do is just put on a glue compressor or something just to glue them a bit more together. But I didn't feel like it, so. Then I have some effects. It's pretty simple, you know, a down lifter, a reverse piano. This is pretty easy to do. I just held out the note, this part right here. I just copied it and just stretched it out to a bar. And then I just put on some reverb and some delay. And then I just bounced it out and reversed it. And then I got this. It's pretty easy. This is just a crowd effect. This is just to add a little bit more atmosphere to the sound and fill up the break a bit more. These type of sounds and these type of atmospheric sounds. It adds a lot more realism and fills up the mix a bit more. Because if I mute it, you know, it sounds good, but listen with it with a crowd effect. You know, you can feel like it's a lot more fuller. And the complete effect is just a down lifter combined with a riser or something. And that's basically it. That's what oh, I almost forgot. Let me just explain to you guys how I made the piano MIDI. Now, if you look at it like this, you're like, wait, what? This is simple? No, it's pretty simple. You start off by just doing the chords, your normal chords, let's say, because we are right now in the G minor scale. So you know, the G minor scale consists of G, D, and A sharp. And then what I did was I just octave everything. Like G, D sharp, and A sharp. Just octave everything, and I just build out the chords accordingly. So it looks really complex, but it's just not. It's just the same thing down here is just up there. Open voicing, you know, adding a lot more notes, adding a lot more, and just spreading out the chords a bit more is just to make the sound a lot more open. What I also did was with the piano, with the bright piano, is I took off the really low notes like this G. It's not in the G. The G is not in here. Like the G1 is not in here because I felt like it sounded really muddy. With the G, with those low notes, and like this, it sounds a lot more cooler. And also, it gives more emphasis to the grand piano because the grand piano has those low notes and the bright piano doesn't. So that's what I did. And other than that, I think that's it. What I also, you guys may be asking yourself, why do I have utility on everything? Well, the thing is that I really like to mix at low levels, like really low volumes and everything. And as you can see right here, I'm adding a lot of gain. I have just a Fab Fielder Saturn, a compressor, a utility, and just two limiters. Nothing special. It's just to add back those gain and add back the gain and just make it as loud as possible if I want to. I can go louder if I want to. It's pretty loud. Yeah, we're hitting approximately -9 LUFS, which is pretty loud. I can go even louder to like -6, -7 LUFS. So you know that's pretty loud. That's almost club ready. So that's what I like to do. Like I like to mix at low levels, and then I can just bring it up afterwards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if there's any questions, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Ciao.